What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with another episode of Out of My Element, where you guys get to pick the album that I review. And today I'm talking about the debut album from Billie Eilish entitled When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? So I know what you're all thinking. I don't remember picking this album. And that's right, you did not pick this album. So what had happened was, in the last Out of My Element poll, there was a tie between two artists. I did one of the artists, then I fucked up and I deleted the poll before taking down who the other artist was, and now I don't remember. So rather than going through this whole thing of asking you guys who it was, I figured I would just start fresh, and then I would put the new poll, which is down there, in this video for you guys to go vote on the next album for me to review. So why am I doing Billie Eilish? Basically, everyone was talking about this girl. She seemed to be an extremely polarizing character, and typically I don't care to listen to something based on that, but I had quite a few people asking me what I thought about it, so I figured I'd check this album out. Upon listening to the first song, Bad Guy, I didn't really see the big deal. She seemed to be posing herself as a more scary Fiona Apple, and sonically it didn't really do much for me. It's not bad, but it didn't really evoke anything in me. It's funny, I guess, her whole comparison of her tough nature to this man's. So you're a tough guy, like a really rough guy, just can't get enough guy, chest always so puffed guy. I'm the bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad tight, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. I guess it's a neat opener. However, the beat switch at the end was not really placed well to me. It just seemed kind of random and kind of pointless. Like they didn't really know how to wrap this song up because it wasn't really going anywhere. So they just kind of threw this random part at the end of the song. But it wasn't bad. It didn't suck or anything. The next song, Zanny, I found to be a much more interesting track. The song is basically about her feelings on drug use and their dangers, and I thought the chorus was really interesting. I'm in their secondhand smoke, still just drinking canned Coke. I don't need a Zanny to feel better. On designated drives home, only one who's not stoned. Don't give me a Zanny now or ever. Seems to be her describing an environment where all the people around her are doing drugs. You know, she's in their secondhand smoke, which is probably a reference to weed. Instead of doing cocaine, she's just drinking Coca-Cola. I'm sure this is a reference to all of the people lately that have been dying from drug overdoses. But yeah, this isn't a super original idea, but I think the way that she presents it was done well. I think the buzzed out feeling over the vocals of this song worked really well with the topic, and it goes well with the beat, how it goes from the subtle piano sounds to the bass heavy thump. I thought it was actually pretty tight. All Girls Go to Hell was an interesting song. I like the juxtaposition of this playful sounding song with this rather dark subject matter. I think the opening of the song by saying my Lucifer is lonely was really cool. This kind of idea that the devil on her shoulder doesn't have an angel on the other shoulder to argue with. And the idea of the pearly gates looking like a picket fence was a dope take as well. Kind of saying that getting into heaven doesn't look so appealing to her, or at least that it doesn't seem very special. You know, picket fences are fairly common, so it could be her saying that she's not enthralled by your claims of getting into heaven as being something special. Wish You Were Gay. So I was kind of looking forward to this song just because I wanted to know what she was going for. I know nothing about this woman, so I had no preconceived notions about her social views going into this song. But the song is fairly simple. It's about her wishing that this boy that she liked but didn't like her back was gay. That way there would be a reason for the boy not liking her other than him simply not liking her. It seems to be a way for her to convince herself that there's nothing wrong with her, and it's just a matter of this boy not being into women. After I heard the song, I just knew that people were going to be pissed. So I did a quick Google search, and of course there's people calling her homophobic. I'm a straight man, so my opinion doesn't really matter here, but since it's my video, I'm gonna give you my opinion any fucking way. And I'm just gonna say that I don't really see it. The song didn't come off as some sort of homophobic fetishization of gay men to me. Definitely no more than Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl. But I'm not a gay man, so if that's how the majority of gay men feel, who am I to argue? You know, what I see as a lighthearted kind of thing in the end means nothing if the affected group feels a different way. At any rate, personally, I found the song kind of cute. I also found its connection to the track 8 to be rather interesting. In Wish You Were Gay, she has this really cool kind of numerical thing going on where she counts down from 12, and she has this line that says, I ate alone at 7, you were 6 minutes away, etc., etc. The whole numerical element of the line jumped out at me as really dope. Kind of reminds me of that LP verse on the Mr. Motherfucking Esquire Huzzah remix, one of the best verses of all time. Anyway, when I saw that there was a song called 8, I kind of wondered if there was a connection, and maybe there is, as this song seemed to be about her being in love with someone who is not in love with her. Kind of the same idea as Wish You Were Gay, but I like the very juvenile sound of this song, the ukulele and the very minimal drums, and how she pitch shifts her voice to sound like a child's. I don't know if the purpose of this is to show that this is something that happened to her when she was much younger, or if it's to give the impression that she just felt like a child while this discussion with her infatuation is happening. Either way, I liked this song, and I really liked this line. I know you're not sorry, why should you be? Because who am I to be in love when your love never is for me? Bury Your Friend is a cool track. The song speaks from the perspective of the monster under her bed. She gives the monster this feeling of anxiety, so instead of simply haunting her, the monster wonders about her. You know, why isn't she running from the monster? What does she think about the monster? And in the end, she concludes that she is actually the monster under her bed or in the closet or in the shadows, whatever, is actually her own worst fears, her own depression, her own anxiety. And it's all done over this really haunting backdrop, which for some bizarre reason kind of gave me the vibe of a much darker version of The Cure's Lullaby. Call me nuts, I don't care. I also like her vocal patterns that she uses on this track. I thought they were really, really creative. One of the only songs that I really just didn't care for at all was Ilo Milo. It just sounded a bit typical. You know, it wasn't very intriguing at all, or at least not as intriguing as the other songs on the album. I feel like the whole music box sound has been done to death unless you're gonna put this really unique spin on it, and this didn't do that. The beat was a bit dry, it was a bit lifeless, and what she laid down vocally over it didn't help at all. Listen Before I Go aesthetically is a good song. I think the subtle backdrop of the song works really well with the topic of the song. Her vocals sound great here. Her subdued voice singing about talking to a lover that she seems to be losing and feeling hopeless enough to contemplate suicide. It just works, you know, it's almost sultry the way she's singing here, and the way it ends with the police sirens is chilling. Overall, this is a bit of a confusing listen for me. Throughout, I kept thinking, you know, does this girl have a good voice? I honestly don't know. I say that because what she's showing here doesn't display a strong vocal presence. She just kind of moans and croons really low. I think this approach works really well as far as giving you an intimate view into her world, especially with the production that she's singing over. The production, which is done by her brother, is rather compelling. I think he's very talented in how he composes his beats. I think he does a great job of creating an amalgamation of lo-fi kind of indie rock with indie pop and these kind of hip-hop leanings. I think they come together a lot better than one would expect. I think the presentation of the music goes perfectly with the themes. Now, do I buy this as a sincere addition to the pantheon of artists that are doing the same thing with their music? I don't know, and I honestly don't really care. I know very little about Billie Eilish. I know she's young and she seemingly came out of nowhere, and I know there's been a ton of articles labeling her an industry plant, which again, I don't care. I'm only mentioning that so you dorks don't fill up the comment section with, "Hey Mike, did you know that she's an industry plant?" To me, being an industry plant within pop music means nothing. Mainly because I don't personally take a lot of the music made by these people or the people themselves very seriously. Not to mention, I'm not the demographic of the majority of these artists. I'm probably double the age of the people that Eilish and her team are trying to reach. So her being an industry plant, to me, is completely irrelevant. What matters is the music. Does the final product connect with me? And honestly, I think the final product is pretty decent. Did I enjoy listening to this album? I'd say yes. Would I return to this? I'd say maybe. Would I listen to this regularly? I cannot say that I would. It's a decent listen at times, but also at times it's a bit too dull for me to get engrossed in. And that's not a testament to the quality of the album in terms of the populace. It's more of a testament to how it connects to someone who could be this girl's father. Part of me thinks that Billie Eilish is presenting ideas that many people her age can relate to. You know, these are feelings that a lot of them have and emotions that a lot of them go through. And as I said before, a kid going through a dark period in their life can greatly benefit from someone to look up to who may be going through the same thing. And in many times that can help them cope and move forward. They'll see this more popular person going through this stuff and they'll say, well, if they can go through it and make it out, so can I. Of course, this is just my feelings on the matter. I'm not a fucking doctor, so this isn't a factual type of thing. So don't send me your fucking Medium articles telling me something else, because I don't care. But yeah, part of me thinks that this could be a sincere display of the dark, emotional roller coaster that the youth goes through. In contrast, another part of me thinks that this is some fake deep album for girls to drink their skinny lattes to while they shop for new crop tops or Urban Outfitters. Oh my god, they only put 2 pumps of caramel in this drink instead of 3? This is bullshit. I'm gonna go yell at the manager and then I'm gonna go fuck her dad. Something about this album comes across as a bit plastic, almost like a depressed Stepford wife in album form, meaning parts of it just comes across as a bit robotic. But altogether, I still think it works. It comes across as a cross between Lana Del Rey and Fiona Apple. 2 artists who I enjoy quite a bit, so you'd think that I'd be in love with an album like this. But I can't say that I'm in love with it, but I can definitely say it's a decent album. It's a nice addition to the whole pop music arena, but is it for me? Not necessarily. But yeah, that's all I got for this album. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down there, and make sure you jump on that poll and you know what I mean, and vote for the next album for me to review. And if you want to be able to add artists to the poll, make sure you go become a patron of mine. Links down there. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out, boy.